I'm Annie.
I'm Grace.
And I'm Kitty.
And this is DGTV.
First, we have a video Jake did all about the Lockerbie air disaster.
Let's take a look.
The Lockerbie air disaster happened over 30 years ago. I want to find out how different generations were affected by this event.
I'm Kerry Curry.
My name is Jackie Moffat.
Emily Ray. I'm from Lockerbie and I'm a business education teacher.
I've lived in Lockerbie for a long time now. About 50 years now.
Currently deputy head teacher at Lockerbie Academy, but before all that I'm local to Lockerbie and a former pupil of the Academy 1990 to 96. I've lived here for my whole life. Went to school here, primary and secondary.
What do you know or do you remember anything about the air disaster?
I do. At the time, 1988, I was 10 and we actually just lived outside of Lockerbie, just about 5 miles north of Lockerbie, and our house backed onto the railway, and just after 7 o'clock, and I remember we just settled down to watch, it was a TV show called This Is Your Life that had just started, and I remember a really loud noise that came from outside, and I've got a younger brother and sister, and we all heard that, and my dad had thought straight away it sounded like the train had come off the track. So he'd run outside, and when he ran outside, he could see the sky above Lockerbie was just red. My dad at the time was working over at Dumfries, and on the actual day of the air disaster, he just remembers that all communication obviously was cut at the time. He didn't know what had happened. He'd heard about it from obviously people that he's worked with. Something had happened in Lockerbie, but he wasn't sure what. I'm sure he said at the time he thought that it was, or they thought it was a petrol explosion that had happened and they weren't sure. So he managed to get back to Lockerbie with someone who he travelled to work with, but obviously they were stopping people as you came in just at the cemetery brae. And he ran from there all the way up to where he used to live at Hasgrove. He said he got in the house and he seen obviously his family, so like my nana and papa and his brother, and he just cried because he was obviously glad that they were okay and he knew something had happened.
The 3 of us ran down the stairs because, as I say, things kept hitting the roof. And my husband, he had been watching television and he told us to get out and go to my just to get out of the house and make our way to the centre of the town.
Just got away as quick as you could.
That's right, and it was just like daylight. It was just broad daylight, even though it was December and it was after 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
It
was quite a strange experience.
It was a strange experience.
Mum, she just really remembers that she didn't know what was going on, but that she was with, obviously she was at home, and it was like really warm outside, and obviously everything kind of got cut and she couldn't really remember anything until afterwards. And she remembers coming round. She used to work at the baker's down the street, and she came round in the morning the next day and she said there was just news reporters everywhere asking her questions and taking pictures and trying to get obviously the news stories in because she'd kind of finally found out what had happened.
I think it definitely brought the way that people reacted. It was just a complete, it was an unspoken, people didn't talk about it as such, but people just reacted. There was instances where there were obviously funerals. I knew a lot of all the local people that died. So, you have that to go through.
The motto from Syracuse is to look back and act forward, and I think the town does a really good job at that.
When I asked Jake why he made his video about the Lockerbie air disaster, he said that it was because Lockerbie is his hometown and he wanted to learn more about the place that he lived in and its history. I also asked him what he learned from interviewing all these people, and he said that he learned that despite deeply affecting the town, the air disaster brought people together and it brought the community together and it made it stronger. And it was a lot because they decided they needed to keep pushing so that the loss wouldn't be in vain. But now we're going to talk about the Gibbet Effects special effects workshop that was on today. So this is some of it. I don't actually look like this. It's prosthetics. So Grace did the one on my cheek. I, with Kitty's help, did the one on my forehead. So Grace, do you want to tell me more about how you did this?
Yeah, so we were given the prosthetics pre-made, and so I just glued the prosthetic on and then added all of the colour and detail, and I tried to make it look as realistic as possible.
I followed like the same steps to do the one on my hand, and that worked out really well. It was good fun.
I did a lot of the same as well, but I put yellow in mine so that it looked all infected and rotten and more disgusting than everyone else's. But there was a lot of other people at the workshop too, and they did a great job as well. It looked really realistic when they had done it, and they should be really proud of themselves for what they did. Now we're going to watch Kitty's video all about artists in Kirkcudbright.
What do you think of Kirkcudbright as an artist's town?
Oh, it's amazing. We're very lucky. We're one of the few towns in the United Kingdom which has a reputation for its art and its history. There's a really rich history here, artist colonies, and now we have a really thriving artist and makers kind of vibe here. So people move here now because they love art and they want to be part of it.
Is there any artists that immediately come to your head?
There are lots of amazing artists in Kirkcudbright and makers as well. We've got Margaret Milligan, she's a really good painter. We've got an incredible printmaker called Joshua Miles, who has moved here from South Africa a couple of years ago.
Hi, we're here with Joshua Miles talking about how Kirkcudbright has impacted his artwork. How has it impacted your artwork?
Well, I'm pretty new to the town. It does make quite an impact when there's a whole town of artists around. For me, because my studio is so prominent with big windows, lots of people walk by.
Which is your favourite piece of artwork you've ever done?
Wow. It's been a 25-year career, so that's a bit of a hard one. Normally it's the last one I've done, which it is actually at the moment. I did a birch tree forest, which I'm really fond of.
So how did you start doing your artwork?
Well, I was very fortunate as a child. My aunt did woodcuts. So as a very small child, I saw her doing woodcuts. And I've always loved drawing. So I was always the one in the corner sitting, drawing. And it developed into me going to university and studying fine art. And I've always been an artist all my grown-up life.
Why did you want to create a studio in Kirkcudbright out of all places?
Well, I'm South African, so I was born and grew up in Africa, and then married a Scot. And we did live here for a while. Our son was born here, but we've always wanted to bring our son back to Scotland. So we actually looked on the internet at artist villages in the UK, and Kirkcudbright was one of them. And when we came to see what it was like here, we fell in love with it immediately.
What is your favourite thing about the gallery in Kirkcudbright?
This is our second visit. The first time we came, you'd got the hoard that was found in the area, so that was absolutely fascinating. And for a small place to have this amazing gallery, and now we're visiting today, and you've got the Raymond Briggs exhibition, which I've found very moving, and the Jessica King exhibition, who was a local, and that is, her style is just amazing.
Can you tell us about your favourite part of Kirkcudbright as an artist's town?
It's I would say it's a very inspirational place with it's such a small community with loads of artists that all have loads of passion and drive in their fields. They're all very skilled, and it's lovely, tight-knit community.
Can you tell us a little bit about your favourite artist or the gallery?
I'm very impressed with the gallery, and it's good to see drawing because so many artists now don't draw, do they? It's all impressionist.
My name is Matthew Wright, and I'm an artist currently living and working in Surrey, near London. I studied at the Royal Academy of Arts in London, and when I got my diploma I was taken up by a gallery in Hampstead. And from there on I've just continued doing my own work and started working in a similar vein to Jessie in doing fine line drawings, but they were all of London. And I'm still working and still doing the same things and supplying Waterstones, which is a big bookshop, supplying them with all my work. And apart from that, I live in the south of France as well, part of the year where I have a gallery where I sell my own artwork in a small town called Serres in the Pyrenees.
What drew you to Coubry?
What drew me to Coubry? Well, I suppose my sister, who lives very close by, at Lauriston Hall, and she told me about the exhibition here, and so that's what brought me here today.
So why did you want to create a film about artists in Kirkcudbright?
Well, I'm good friends with someone, and their dad is an artist, so it inspired me to like look around all the galleries, and I decided to make a film about it.
Why did you choose the artists that you interviewed?
They were the ones that were friendly enough and open to let me look around the gallery and take like loads of shots of stuff.
What was your favourite part about creating your film?
It was definitely meeting everyone and like learning all their life stories and interesting things about them.
And did you face any challenges?
The weather definitely played a massive part in some of like the difficulties and trying to get interviews with people because they're very busy.
Next, we have a promotional video from our sponsor, Muirhall Energy.
Hello, I'm Adam Tom, and I'm a project officer with Muirhall Energy.
We're delighted to be sponsoring DGTV at this year's Scottish Youth Film Festival. Both of our projects in Dumfries and Galloway, Hawksrigg Wind Farm and Loganhead Wind Farm, have recently had applications submitted for optimised schemes. These revised applications will allow us to increase the community benefit to over £1 million per year across both projects, which is trebling our existing commitment. You can find project information at our website. If you feel you can support our project, you can do so by writing to the Energy Consents Unit using the email representations@gov.scot. And finally, we would like to say good luck to all the young filmmakers at this year's festival.
Hi, I'm here with Belle. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name's Belle Doyle. I live in Dumfries. I've been working in film and in cinema for most of my adult life, and I'm really excited to see, first of all, DGTV live. That's been a bit of a wait. And I've I think we've all had a really good weekend at the Scottish Youth Film Festival, so I'm very pleased to be here to be working on it.
What changes would you like to see in Dumfries and Galloway about film and TV?
I think we all need to work together to make it more accessible and easier for young people just to have a go at learning new skills and learning how TV is put together and how documentary is put together. I know that you've, as a team of DGTV, have worked really hard. I'm really impressed at what you've managed to do. And I'd really like to see a way that we can continue to support you and encourage you. And if any of you want to continue to do this as a career, I think that's important.
How did you first get started with the Scottish Youth Film Foundation?
I don't know. I can't remember when I first met them, but I've been kind of helping them promote the the events for a few years, and then suddenly they were coming to Dumfries, and I was kind of obliged to help. But it's been lovely, and I'm very pleased to see them.
What has been like your favourite thing about the festival so far, and like the activities you've helped with?
Well, obviously, the whole festival has been really good. There hasn't been any downside of it, but it has been hard work. But we've all been prepared to do the hard work. I think it's been a real pleasure, especially to meet you all and work with you.
So you came out filming with us for Grace's short film. It was quite challenging in some places. How did you guys find it?
I have to say it was a real privilege to be able to go to the horse sanctuary. I didn't know it existed. So to go there and see all the horses and know that this is going on in our region, I thought it was excellent. I think the filming took longer than probably it should have done, but it's fine. It was a nice place to hang out. It was just the weather was awful, that's all. But the rest of it was great.
Thank you so much for your time today and coming out and to helping us.
That's all right. It was a
Next up,
pleasure.
we've got Grace's film.
Hi there folks, I'm Susan Murdoch. I'm co-founder of the 3R Horse Rescue Centre here at Gatehouse. The reason it's called the 3Rs because it's rescue, rehabilitation and rehome. And what it is, we work with horses from all walks of life. Some of them don't need any work, some of them are maybe being neglected, some of them are maybe being mistreated, some of them are classed as dangerous. And really we just bring the horse in, we turn it usually away in the hill, and it's the other horses, we see how the other horses react to it, and that adjusts the horse behaviour to start with. And then we start by involving our volunteers and ourselves by them coming into the yard, more or less just the grooming process, getting them to actually like people again and getting them to think that people are good fun. So regarding process of rehoming a horse, it depends what the circumstances is, whether the horse comes here or not. Sometimes the question doesn't even need to be asked. I mean, if the horse is in jeopardy or in danger through no fault of its own, then we will take the horse in here. We are not a dumping ground for old retired horses, and the first person to tell an owner that. So we will not accept horses just for you to get another horse. Our purpose is to find them new homes. And finding them new homes is by, obviously, the people coming here working with the horse. We see how they are with the horse, we see how the horse is with them. We then vet the homes, and then the process just goes on from there. Then the person gets to take the horse with them.
Is there any specific horse's story that stands out?
Stands out? Oh, we've got a few of them. Probably Merida is one of the longest ones that we've had here. I think you've got her on film before. She was actually rescued from this place when it was shut down for horse cruelty in 2014. And my daughter actually rehomed her at the time, and we took her back to the farm we were at before. She's still with us. She'll never be ridden. She's just very worried when it comes to having a saddle put on her back, but she's one of the best therapy horses we have. She is just so calming with people, and when people hear her story, it tends to calm them down, and they try to work with her, and it just helps adjust their mental health a wee bit as well. So Merida is worth her weight in gold. She's wonderful. A couple that we've actually rehomed, Jake was one of them. He was very, very dangerous. He was getting shot in the field the day we went to get him. And so the fellow was actually there to shoot him because he was so aggressive towards his owner, and he was really bad. But however, Gordon worked away with him, and we managed to get him caught up that day. We brought him back to where we used to live. This was before we started here. In fact, he was one of the first horses to come here with us. And Gordon actually more or less took him out with the sheepdogs every morning. And even our kids, who are very good horse-wise, weren't allowed anywhere near him. That's how bad he was. And now he taught a 13-year-old girl to ride, and he's now found a really nice person over in Stranraer area, and he's away living a wonderful life as a proper pony. Proper horse, I should say. He was an ex-race horse. Came from Dubai. We called him the Dubai Jet Setter.
I'm Gordon Chisholm, Centre Manager of the 3Rs.
What's your favourite thing about the 3Rs?
Getting in troubled horses or neglected horses and turning them round about and rehoming them.
What's been some of your best experiences here, would you say?
Working with the horses that have been abused and getting them retrained and getting them rehomed to a forever home. And there's various horses right through this 6-7 year now that we've done all that, yeah.
Would you say there's any horse that stands out?
The worst horse we ever had for behaviour issues was a horse called Jake. He was an ex-racehorse and originated from Dubai, and he came to this country for some reason because he was rubbish at racing. But he was really aggressive. It took me 3 weeks solid to get him calmed down, and we got him retrained, and he is now away home. So he was a big success story. Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
It's just been it's nearly 7 years now we've been here, me and Susan, and it's been our passion, so it's great that we can carry on with passion and helping all these horses. It's been good.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about the centre?
The centre, it's just evolved. It really has. It's a fantastic place, whether you're a horse, whether you're a human, whether you're a dog. It doesn't matter. You'll see we've got different people from all walks of life, different horses from all walks of life, and it just works. I don't know why. And people just seem to gravitate towards us. It's nothing to do with me, it's nothing to do with Gordon, it's just the place itself, and it works. And now we're working with a lot of young people as well. With COVID having hit, it really affected young people attending school, it really affected young people really getting out and about there. Whereas here it really helps them to get out and about, start enjoying stuff, actually integrating with other people, mixing with people from all ages and all walks of life. And it really just has boosted their whole mental health and boosted their whole attitude to life. So they're now engaging better at school and really keen to come up here every weekend and help us here. So that's what we're all about. People and horses and dogs and guinea pigs and rabbits, and of course our 2 emus, George and Mildred.
So, Grace, why did you decide to make your film about the Horse Centre 3 Rs?
Well, I've been volunteering there for about 2 years now, and I just thought it would be great to let more people know about it.
So, you say you've been there nearly 2 years, so I'm sure by now you've got to have a favourite horse. So, which one is your favourite?
Well, a few months ago, I was training a horse called Ziggy to be rehomed, and she was recently rehomed, so that's a good story.
How interesting was it to hear from Susan and Gordon?
Well, there was parts about Merida that I didn't know about, how she was the first horse there, and about Jake, I didn't know about him.
When making your film, what was your favourite part of the process?
Probably filming with the horses and then getting to practice on a new editing software that I haven't used before.
Was there any struggles that you had to face while you were making your film?
The weather. It was raining a lot and it was very windy. So yeah, that was a big struggle.
Thanks. Thank you for watching. I've been Annie.
I've been Grace.
And I've been Kitty.
Thank you for being with us today. This has been
DGTV.